right. Good morning, everyone. Michael Reese with the Libertarian Political Variety Pack, the LPVP. And today we're joined with Tracy from Tokelahoma. Um, she's a liberty activist, mother, and veteran. Good morning, Tracy. Nice to
Morning.
meet you.
How are you?
I'm doing great. You are one of the most active people that I have seen out there. I know recently we had two events that you were a part of here in Oklahoma, and you even got to meet Spike Cohan. Um, I know the first one was you were at a protest against one of the bills that they're trying to pass here. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yes. So, a friend of mine, a fellow libertarian who is now the Libertarian at large, Will Daughtry, he put together a protest because HB 2272 was going to put caps on licenses for growers, and it was going to hurt small businesses and just all this crap, all this fat that was going to hurt the cannabis community and take away from 788. And so we came out and we protested, and there was over 100 people, and there was people from all over. And it brought me into the cannabis family right away. And so we got to show them that the Libertarian Party is part of them. We're here for you. We might not even smoke weed, but we're still going to support you and defend your rights, because we know that 57% of people voted yes on 788. And so it was huge. And then we had the convention the next weekend, and I did get to I got to do a podcast with Spike. It was so awesome. Spike is so great. Like, sitting next to someone who I believed in and who I voted for and who I can look at my children in the eyes and say, hey, I met Joe Jorgensen and I met Spike Cohen, and that's why I voted for them. I didn't pick the lesser of two evils. I wasn't part of what is going on right now. I was ahead of everybody, and so when I think about that, I think about what am I going to leave for my kids, right? And so I see everybody on our timelines fighting, right? And then I see libertarians just making fun of them, right? Because we're just like, you know what? We're so done, right? We're just going to take over all the small things because it's going to take us a while to even become president. But we're here and we're loud, and we are going to fight for your rights, regardless of if we want to do them. But if the government is interfering with your rights, we're gonna help you out. And I feel like that's what we need to lead as a party, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. That was just one of at least in the top 5 complaints throughout the campaign last year, was there were a lot of people that were telling us that we needed to start at the local level instead of just trying to take over the White House. I know that was one of the factors, as well as and forgive me, whoever was the guest, but Spike did have a guest on one of his shows that straight up told him that. He was like, hey, we need to start at the local level and work our way up. I think that the Libertarian Party as a whole is doing well. I know that we have been able to take over some of those local offices, and I think one day we'll get there.
Right.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it because I'm in Oklahoma as well, and I really wanted to go to that because I haven't got to meet him. I went to Joe Jorgensen's rally when it was in Oklahoma City, and that was a blast. Like that was, they were able to fill up the whole farmers market down there. We really needed to actually be at a bigger venue because people were
I was
having
there.
a hard. Yeah. People were people were having a hard time finding a parking spot over there.
And it was hot, but we were still there.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It was. And that's what I like, and that's what I gotta remind myself. Like, all this arguing and all this chaos that's going on this TV screen, we aren't part of that. We were for liberty. We were for freedom. We are gonna be in the history books. Yeah, we're trending right now because we're finally making noise, right? We're gonna keep trending. We're gonna keep upsetting the establishment, because that's what we need to do, nationally, federally, locally, at the state level. We need to put our foot and say, no, this is wrong, and here's why. Because I'm so sick of these Democrats and these Republicans just back and forth and back and forth. Like, I'm done with it. I'm done. No more of it.
Yeah, that's exactly what Matt Wright brought up last night or on his writer's block episode. It was a great episode. I loved it.
I didn't see.
Um, so how about you let us know a little bit about Tokelahoma? What's it about and what you guys have planned that way?
All right, so right now I'm basically just trying to find what the cannabis community is, right? How can I, as a libertarian, help them? How can I educate them? How can I get educated from them? Because they know stuff. They've been doing this. They've been fighting the fight, for 50 years, just like libertarians, because the Libertarian Party is 50 years this year, right? And they wanted to free the weed back then, right? They wanted, so my main focus is how can the Libertarian Party help the cannabis community and share information, and also being a veteran and states not having medical cannabis even, um, that too. I want to keep pushing those facts out where people might not get other places because it's not mainstream. No one cares, right? No one cares. And so the VA just came out with the FDA, said that THC basically heals PTSD for veterans. Okay, so now what are you gonna do? Right? Is the VA gonna, give it to us? Or are they just gonna keep playing this game? Oh, we're tied up doing this. Oh, we're tied up doing this. So I just want to be an ear for Oklahomans as a libertarian, right? Um, as a mother, as a veteran, and as very, very pro cannabis. So all of those kind of things kind of encompass me.
Yeah, that was one of the things about cannabis was a lot of people that are on the outside when they hear about medical properties like that, they just kind of laugh it off and they're like, "Oh no, you people are just wanting to get high out there." But it's not the case at all. And I mean, even as low as like CBD oil being able to help out with epilepsy. I mean, like that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Why wasn't that a thing like all along? And then it takes you from being kind of an activist. For me, it was making me just straight up mad. Like, why are you preventing people from getting help when this could help out so much?
Yeah. No, because they wanted to get them addicted to the pills, and then they would need to keep going and keep buying. And then who was part of big pharma? The government. All these government officials that have been into it have their hands in big pharma, so they don't want to allow it. But now the states have found out that they can make money from it, so now they want to do it. Like everyone's like, oh, New York did it, yay! I'm like, well, they're broke, so they need the money. That's why they did it. They didn't do it because they believe in freedom and liberty, right?
Right.
They wanted the money from it. Now they don't care about you. They don't care about any of us.
I'm sure Colorado and Oregon, especially Colorado, once people were like, "Holy crap, they're generating millions in tax revenue off of this." Yeah, and then from there, we finally got medical. Unfortunately, not recreational yet. I brought that up on my last episode with Tony. Um, like we did have a recreational bill come up like a year or two after medical passed, but the way that the fine print was wording, from what I was told, it would have ended up hurting the businesses that our local shops that set up already. It would have made way for the larger companies like Marvel to come in. So along the lines of Tokelahoma, looks like there's also a podcast that you were on or a part of, The Grinder
Yes.
and Chronic Palooza. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
All right, Chronic Palooza is coming up. It's 420 weekend. It's the weekend right before 420. I forgot my flyer in the car, but it's on my notes. It is. I think this is the third year, but they came out with these judge kits, right? And I think they said like 42 grams in this stuff. So people got to pay $250, right? And they get a judge kit, and they get to smoke all this weed, eat these edibles, got all this free stuff, right? And they're judging local Oklahoma marijuana, and then they're gonna have all these awards. Bubba Sparks is gonna be there. I can't
And
remember who
name
else.
sounds familiar.
Yeah, Bubba Sparks is, an older rapper. A bunch of sponsors, local dispensaries, local grows, just health and wellness type people. And I think it's great. I'm gonna go. They have kids spots there, it's just a family friendly thing. Like, we were so conditioned to think marijuana, cannabis, hemp was bad, but tobacco was fine, right? So my mom would smoke in the car with me, right? A cigarette, but wouldn't smoke a joint in there with me. I'm like, what? Like, how does that make sense, right? Um, but yeah, Chronic Palooza is 420 weekend, and they're gonna have a bunch of stuff. I will drop the flyer into this after. I just forgot it in my car.
Yeah, sorry if you already said it. Where is it gonna be at?
I don't know the ad. I'm really bad with addresses.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. But is it in like the
It's in
city
the
area?
area. Yes. OKC
Okay.
area. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That sounds exciting.
Yes. I'm excited. I've never been, so.
All right. And as well as advocating for marijuana, I know you help out with the veteran community as well, specifically um, letting people know about veteran suicides as well as other issues that you found throughout there. What's this battle on the home front that you're a part of?
All right. So Battle on the Home Front is my brother in arms, Kyle Early. He has been wanting to just help people because he was a homeless drug addict who wanted to commit suicide. And he has just had a constant battle. And now he's in a place where in his life where he can give back to his brothers and sisters who need it. And that's all he wants to do. And last weekend, we got to go out to a hemp farm and plant seeds and bond and eat and talk and talk about what's going on in this country. And it was great. It was such a good event. Like, I haven't felt part of my military family in almost 2 years, but there I felt home. I felt home, and I met the first Oklahoma Army artillery woman there, Linda Steele. So I was excited. So that was Women History Month. It was women history for me, right? I don't care about all that other crap. I care about that. I care about this woman that I'm meeting. I can see that, I asked her to come to coffee with a veteran at the American Legion on Wednesday, and she came, and there was about 15 of us, and it was my first time, and it was great. It was great, and veterans matter. 22 veterans commit suicide a day, but it's not only 22 veterans that think about committing suicide, and it's not ever in the paper, it's not ever on the news, right? But it happens all the time. I see it all the time. My best friend was struggling last year. My best friend told me he wasn't going to make it to his birthday, okay? And I have lost so many friends and family, and I know the 6-pill combo helps with that because I took Cymbalta when I was active duty, and Michael, I never had suicidal thoughts ever until this moment. And I was driving and I wanted to commit suicide, and I went to the doctor and I was like, hey, this is what's going on, because I'm such a logical person. And my doctor was like, oh, that's one of the side effects, right? Yet I have those same people telling me that cannabis is not safe, right? But then they'll prescribe you these medications that, oh, well, this person committed suicide. Oh, well, this person died of this. Or no one dies of just smoking cannabis, right? And then so it's like, I just want to be a voice of educating people, about cannabis, about how these veterans are struggling. And the reason is because my dad was a Vietnam veteran, and my dad had very, very bad PTSD. So in the 80s, in the 70s, when he was struggling and he wanted to smoke weed, guess what happened to him? He got in trouble, right? He became a felon for smoking weed. to help with his PTSD. And then, oh, well, all right, I guess I can't smoke weed, or I'm going to start drinking. I'm going to start doing other things. I'm going to start doing whatever I can get to numb the pain of being in Vietnam and doing horrible, horrible things for my country, right? And I know it's not just him. I know it's hundreds and thousands of young men who, you know, were drafted, who fought for their country and then were crapped on when they got home and then told, oh, well, you can't smoke this to feel better, you know, and people didn't want to hire them. People didn't want to be around them. Oh, baby. Sorry, my son's here.
It's fine.
You know, so. Okay, go sit down. Okay, baby. Sorry. Mom like never stops. You know, he's my why, and I have a picture of him that, you know, I'm trying to open up about my dad because you know, I was ashamed for a long time, and I'm not ashamed anymore. So this picture, it's me and my dad. This is how I knew my dad. This is me and him in prison, in federal prison, right? He went in federal prison when I was 3 years old. He died in prison when I was 16 years old. So I know the system sucks, and I know I've hated the system my whole life, because when I was 3, you know, cops took my dad away. I didn't understand why. I didn't understand who, where. So I got to know my dad through going to see him in a prison. And I'm ready to talk about it, and I'm ready to inform people, and I'm ready to tell people that I'm not some privileged white person. I have not ever had a privilege a day in my life. I work hard every day for everything that I can give my kids, so that my kids don't live what I lived, you know? And so, you know, all of those things that you said about me, mother, veteran, activist, like, that's it. That's the core of me, right? Like, I have veterans in my messenger all the time. Hey, you know, they just want to talk, right? And I make them not struggle anymore, because they know that I want to talk to them. They know that I care. They know that I really care, because my message has always been veteran lives matter, right? And it doesn't take away from Black Lives Matter, because Black lives do matter to me, right? But my message doesn't change when CNN says, oh, well, the cops did this. Oh, well, teachers did this. Oh, well, someone did this, right? My message is, hey, we need to get our troops home. Hey, we need to end the war on drugs. Hey, veteran lives matter, right? And so I feel like consistency scares people, you know, and they don't know how to think. They don't know how to critically think that, man, this girl really is focused on this. She really cares about this. She's not going to stop. And I think that's libertarians, right? Because right now we're seeing how hypocritical I'm sorry, I'm on a soapbox, but how hypocritical the left is, right? With these kids in cages, right? They tore Trump administration apart for them. I shared a video with Vice President Harris saying in 2009 how she was going to automatically get those kids out of cages, and now there's more and more kids in cages, right? No, and new facilities. That's not okay. I'm not okay with that. And I love kids. I care about kids. That's why I'm a libertarian, right? That's why I voted for Jo Jorgensen, because she cares about kids. Oh, those other two men, I can't say for sure, right? Now, I know Trump did some good things, but he was also iffy on some things. Now, I know for sure Biden is not good for kids. I know that, you know, and I served under him for 8 years, and he's not good for my next thing I want to talk about, military sexual trauma. That is something else that I am very passionate about, and that is something else that women in the military get PTSD from. And I think it's about 71% of female veterans have PTSD from military sexual trauma, right? So that also helps cannabis. And so that I'm also very passionate about that. And to see my brothers and sisters get mad about things, but not get mad about Biden being president when our military sexual trauma is an issue. I just don't understand, right? And so my message is consistent, right? My message makes sense, and I'm so frustrated because I don't know how to get the word out. I don't know how to relate to people who can't critically think, because I critically think. My 9-year-old
Right.
son critically thinks, right? My son knows. He'll tell you Joe Jorgensen should have been president, right? As a fourth grader, he knows. And because I don't want to keep him away from that. I don't want to hide him from that, right? I don't want to teach him, well, I had to pick the less of two evils, because that's what we were taught. I don't want to do that. So, whew, I need a drink.
No, I think you're doing a great job. I do wonder though, do you guys have a military Facebook page that people can um, reach out to you for?
Yeah.
I know at one point during the election we did have a military for Joe Jorgensen page that was up, where
Yep.
a lot of the veterans and active duty were able to get together
Yes.
and you start creating a network of people that can reach out and help each other, because um, I know it's probably a lot harder if we were to say, here, call this hotline if you're having issues or if you're having troubles. But I know it's a whole lot easier if you're just a part of a community that you know that other people are struggling just like you, and you're able to help each other out.
Well, there's multiple groups. The female veterans, the big one is We Are Vanessa again, and that was made right after she came about in the news, and the support from the women in there is just, woo. Yeah, I wish I had it when I was active duty. I wish I had it, because you are demonized for telling the truth, right?
Yeah, I was reading through one of the comments on one of the posts you had made, and it was just story after story, and not just women, but
Men.
men having issues where they would go to their superior officers, let them know what's going on, and then nothing was really done about it
Right.
to take care of the situation.
Right, and I advocate for men being military sexual trauma victims too, because I think it's about little smaller, about 25%, but that's just who reported. And I actually got kicked out of a military sexual trauma group because I was like, hey, we're attacking men here. There's a lot of men who have, been sexually assaulted too. And so also that scares them too. But again, my message is the same, because I know my brothers struggle just the same as my sisters, whether their supervisor preys on them and it's a female, whether it's another male, right? They're deployed for 12 months and it's just dudes, or, they're locked in a ship for 6 months. I know it happens. And I know it's hard to talk about it. And that's why I have to talk about it, because I can't be scared to talk about it. Now, I don't like to share my story because I am just not ready yet, but I can use my voice to advocate for my brothers and sisters in arms, right? And so I thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for noticing my brothers in arms who were man enough to say something and speak out, because all those men that commented are all very good men. Ooh, I'm getting emotional. But military sexual trauma needs to be ended. It needs to be fixed. It needs to be, go to the police, not your supervisor. Go to the police, not your supervisor. Not, oh, you need to report restricted or non-restricted, right? And I have a chief master sergeant who is a female right now, and I want to hear her say that, right? Go to the police. Don't go to the supervisor who might be doing it to you, or go to the commander who's made comments to you. I've had men, mostly men of all ranks, say things to me, right? It's just stories on stories, almost daily, because it's the military culture, right? But it didn't really bother me until I was sexually assaulted, and then it was like, wow, like I was looking, right? And then there's also a community of people who just are in denial that it happens, or that it's so common. And it's also an issue where I can relate to civilians, where I can be, hey, I hear you and I understand you and I want to help you, right? And so I know that that's something that I need to get louder about, because it's something I'm very passionate about. And you know, it is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So to all my survivors, I appreciate you. You are loved. If you ever need to talk, please send me a message. We can chat. I don't sleep much. So I do sleep early, but I don't sleep much. So that's good. Whew.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's ridiculous how it's with something that serious that it's just treated as a suck it up buttercup and walk it off when it shouldn't be that way at all.
No, no, no. And you know, we've been taught that mental pain isn't the same as physical pain, right? And it's like, hey, I am bleeding inside, like I was just shot. Okay, that's how that's how bad my mental health is today. And then when you explain it to someone like that, then they're like, oh, okay, all right, you know. Also, my shirt is this weed leaf, and it says healthcare THC. I got this from the Libertarian candidates.
Yeah.
Um, I love his shirts. I have two of these, and then I have End the War on Drugs t-shirt, and then No Knock Raids sweatshirt. And, you know, all good quality. I got a deal. There's always a coupon code. So I just want to give him a shout out for sure, because, like, he's doing it. And go buy some of his shirts. They're comfortable.
And that's the Libertarian candidates page.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I've always liked what they have. And then within my group, I have the Proud Libertarian, and I think he makes quality products as well. I don't know if you were a part of the group at the time when I shared it, but he was the one that made the Texas Dig boxer briefs that were the yellow and black. It was really cool. It was, yeah, I liked it.
I want to see it. Like I like to buy those kind of shirts. I want to support veteran-owned businesses. I want to support small businesses. I want to support libertarian businesses. So yeah, like proud libertarian. And I feel like I follow him, but all my libertarian pages are shadow banned. I don't see them. I have to go to them. You know.
Oh, right,
And
yeah.
if I ever see anything in your group is if you post it, then it'll tell me, and then I'm like, okay, let me go look at all the other cool stuffs in there, right? And I just like I don't like the shadow bans.
That's the way it is for my own page. Like there's times like I'll be going through my feed and I don't see anything, and then I actually go to my group and it actually surprises me how much other people have posted in there, and it's like going to a whole new page for me sometimes.
Yeah.
But what drives me nuts is that on my Facebook feed, 90% of what I get right now is 2 or 3 days old, and that drives me nuts, especially since I'm trying to be on top of current events, and that's where I get a lot of my news sources. And it's like 2 or 3 days old when I'm throwing it out there.
No, that's so true, and that's frustrating because you're like, oh, or it's something that's 2 or 3 days old and you missed. And you're like, oh my god, how did I miss this? Right? Like now you're showing me this, but
Yeah,
stuff
exactly.
I don't want to see. The people fighting about dumb stuff. That's all over my feed. I'm like, ugh, it's frustrating. So, I also want to talk about our new state chair, Kevin Hobby. Got elected at the convention this weekend, and you know he is 31 years old, so the Libertarian state chair is 31 years old. So we are bringing you someone who is young, professional, smart, and ready to help you, right? Ready to listen to you. And we want, you know, we've heard so long, and I keep reiterating, we don't want old white men, right? Well, we're offering you someone else, a new choice, a new party, not a new, well, we are the new party still, a newer party, someone who can understand, who isn't going to say cannabis is devil's lettuce, right? Someone who didn't want to call themselves a constitutional conservative, but wanted to cancel Eminem, right? Like, these are the people in Oklahoma, and they think that I don't realize that. Like, I know you were trying to get Eminem off the radio in the early 2000s, and now you think you're a constitutional conservative, that you believe in that First Amendment right? No, you don't. No, you don't. So I just feel like I just got thrown into this position at Tokelahoma, and I was waiting for it, right? Like, they say that, things just pop into your life sometimes, and I'm ready and I'm excited, and I just want to help people, and I want to educate people, and I want to be someone where they can talk to me, like, and the people in the cannabis community, like Old School and DC, like, I want to shout them both out too, because they keep me informed a lot. And well, DC keeps me informed. Like, I even have him on my favorites because I wouldn't see his stuff on Facebook. He is in the know. Like, he knows his cannabis stuff. Like, he knows the patients. Like, he knows his stuff. And so for me, I know that I have to learn from him, right? I'm not like, oh, I know everything. I know the government sucks. No, I know that. He knows that. But he's gonna teach me how to look out for patients, right? And I think he did mention he thought about running as something. So I think he did say that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he would be great at something. I don't even know if he's a Libertarian or a Democrat. I don't think he's a Republican, but like, I'm meeting these people, and I'm willing to sit down with them. And Old School, he's teaching me how to TikTok, all right? And he's an old school Marine, and he's gonna teach me, 35-year-old woman, how to TikTok, how to TikTok. And I am so excited because I have no idea what I'm doing, but people are getting the followers on that. And with my Facebook and my Instagram being so shadow banned, like, I sponsored the protest post in my IG, and I still only got like 40 likes because it's so shadow banned. Isn't that wild?
Yeah, if you're not friends with him, there's a Joseph, I don't know what his last name is, but he's like one of the biggest TikTokers that we have for our movement right now, or at least that I'm aware of. I think that the page may still be up because he said he was a part of it, but there was like a TikTok for Joe Jorgensen or something like that page that we had, where it was kind of the bridge. But I'll send you the links and get you the information later on. But yeah, we definitely do need that, like a bigger presence on, well, every platform right now. But yeah, I think you'll do great. Looking forward to seeing what you have to offer there.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, go check me out, lifting.mama on TikTok or IG. But TikTok, I need followers because I need to learn and meet new people, because networking is so important. Like us having this conversation right now, like, that is important to me. Fighting with someone on the internet is not important to me, right? Because I know if I meet that person, I can find a common ground, and I can help them, and they can help me, and then the fight is over with, right?
Right.
People want to fight. People want chaos, and I don't. I want to chill. I want everybody to chill.
Yeah, I find that the art of the debate has seemed to have been lost, and once you bring up certain topics, especially party politics, people tend to lock up after that, and then they get defensive.
They really do. And then I have so many people that are like, well, I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. Well, then why didn't you vote? Why didn't you vote for a Libertarian? Why didn't you care enough to just, I'm going to just go vote. I'm just going to go vote, because that is big too. Like, Senator Connie Johnson came to the protest, and she was saying that, I think she said, I want to say it was like 40 to 50% of people aren't even registered to vote in Oklahoma. I don't know how true that is. I haven't looked it up, but I believe it. I believe it because you know what? They're happy at home. they're on their farm, they're in their house, they're just chilling, and they don't want to be a part of it. So I believe it, but I also believe that most of those people are probably libertarians too, and I feel like they would go vote, or send in a ballot if we reach them. And so I feel like that's important too, is we need to reach those people, because right now, when you think of the Oklahoma Libertarian Party, besides Tiger King, who do you think of?
For me, it's Chris Powell, but that was
Yeah.
because I got to meet him.
No, that's for everybody. Chris Powell. That's who everyone thinks. And I adore Chris Powell. He's great. I got to eat dinner with him and his wife. She's great. I really liked her. So we need it to be Chris Powell, right? Kevin, Hobby, Rex, Michael, Tracy, Will, Sharice, Jay, David, right? Kevin, like all these people. Caitlin.
Is Greg Sadler still running? I know he was out there.
He was running for state chair too, but he did not win.
Okay. I didn't know if he had something more local going on.
Yeah, like
well.
I think Rex is great, and I think he would have done fine. But I feel like right now in 2021, with the two parties that we are up against, we need to play their game as much as we can, and we need to offer them what they've been asking for, really, right? They don't want an old white man. I'm sorry, Rex. I think you're great. I would have voted for you for governor, for sure. But Kevin fits it better. And we have the intelligence, and we have the people in the liberty movement, but we just have to play their game a little bit, right? Because they're playing chess with us. We just got to play it better. And we're smarter, so we got this.
Right.
We are. We critically think every day.
Yeah, like you were saying, with a lot of people not being registered, I know I was a part of that statistic up until the last campaign. I had just always I was more anarchistic, especially just not thinking that my vote mattered, because as far as I knew, like I had always heard of Libertarian, but it was always just kind of in passing. I just never realized, like, oh, hey, this is actually a party. And then once I heard about Joe Jorgensen, was looking into it, and I'm looking down the list of everything that the platform has to offer, and I'm just sitting there going, yes, yes, yes. Why is this not a bigger thing out there? So that's my goal right now, is just to get the word out there, let people see what the Libertarian Party has to offer for themselves, make that judge. But hey, this is your chance. If you don't feel like either of the major two parties supports your beliefs or fit what you have going on, you might check us out.
Right, and that's all. I'm glad Joe brought you to the party, and I think Joe and Spike brought a lot of people. I think Joe brought a different dynamic than Spike brought, but the people that they brought are the people that we needed, right? And we need to bring a lot more, because man, they're both so intelligent and would have been doing, like, imagine, right, if they were president and vice president, how different our conversation would be right now.
Oh, right.
How different our conversation would be. It would be completely different. We would be happy, right? Because it would just be, okay, she's here. Oh, Lady Liberty. Oh, like,
right.
Troops would be coming home.
Kids would be free.
Lockdowns would be ended. Kids would have been back at school, maskless, which I had someone be upset about that. Like, if you are a year into this and you don't think I do not like the government forcing masks on anyone, you have not been listening to me, okay? Now, I respect small businesses saying, hey, put on a mask, right? I will respect them. Now, when the government says, do this, I don't want to do it, right? And both my kids have to wear masks at school, and my daughter will wear her mask. She has no issue. She likes it. She has cute ones. It's cute to her. It's no big deal, whatever. My son does not like it. He hates putting it on. He's my little libertarian already. I already know. And so, like, and that's what I said, is let the kids decide if they want to wear it or not, because I'm okay with my daughter still wearing one and my son not wearing one, because COVID, really isn't an issue with kids. They're, at least in Oklahoma, like they send them home one time to go back virtual, and they've been in the school the rest of the time. So conditioning my son isn't gonna work, you know. And so I just freedom, liberty, you know. I
Yeah,
just more of it.
I think that that's what has made the whole COVID situation as crazy it is as it has been because of the kind of information that we have. Because like it is a thing, it's not a hoax, even though that's one of the things that went around. So it's like something that is there, but it's statistically, I don't think it's hit the same numbers that like the flu has. And we've been dealing with the flu for
Right.
years.
And that's,
Um,
I think it's a stronger flu, right? And so when the flu first came out and we needed to figure out, a lot of people died. But I think it's a stronger flu or a different strain of the flu. And I do think we need to take some precautions, but closing down the country, killing small businesses.
oh
Uh,
yeah, I was a part of that. I had my business going on in Oklahoma City, and then it got shut down because of COVID
I'm
mandates.
sorry.
Yeah.
And that's what we like. And these are just normal Americans who's thriving, right? Walmart,
Right.
Target,
Yeah,
all
and
these corporations
that
they
goes back.
that they don't like. Yet these Democrats just shut all down this state, like Michigan. I'm from Michigan, right? I had friends who were going to dinner in outside tents because you couldn't eat indoors, but you could eat outside in a tent. The kids just got back to school. The economy has plummeted, right? And I'm over here in Oklahoma and I'm like, man, I'm so thankful for my freedom. But I see what it's doing to my family and my friends. And it's just like, that's why I joined the military, to get out of, you know, the big three crashing, because that was rough. And now the governor has been so hard on Michiganders that they're struggling. And I'm frustrated because that's my hometown, that's my home state, those are my people, that's, you know, that's my blood. And how can people think that's okay, right? How? And my aunt actually died from COVID, right? And my cousin, her daughter, is a libertarian. And so I saw firsthand my cousin go through all this and still be about liberty and freedom. And, you know, and what up, Lisa? And, you know, it's just frustrating because I can tell these people exactly what's going on and they're still going to fight me, right? And so I'm learning that I'm done fighting with people, unless arguing with people, unless it's libertarians, because when I argue with libertarians, I learn something, right? I might be halfway wrong, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I'm actually halfway right. You're halfway right. All right, this is actually what it is, right? When I fight with Democrats or Republicans, I get mad. I get frustrated. I get called names. I get belittled. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to plant seeds for these people. But the only people that I'm willing, you know, willingly going to have those hard conversations with are libertarians, and then try to soften it for everybody else, because I can't have those conversations with Democrats or Republicans. I can't. And it's so frustrating because they think we're crazy.
Yeah, to me, I keep. Of course, I've always known with being on the internet, but Spike was the one that actually said it, where he's saying, "Hey, when you're talking on the internet, just talk like you have like a million eyes that are going to be watching you." So
Yes.
I bring that up because that's what I would do, especially during the campaign season when everything was heated, and I was in both the left and the right. I was both in Biden and Trump's pages, and promoting Joe Jorgensen.
Yes.
But the way that I looked at it was, you try to keep it at just a debate. Don't get into that argument mode,
Right.
and you may not be able to convince the person that you're actually arguing against, but you'll have people that'll be coming along and reading the comments and read it, and maybe there's somebody that's usually a conservative, but they're like, hey, this guy's actually kind of got a point. Like, I like, and then that'll lead them to checking it out. And then so at that, it's all about statistics. You're
No,
gonna win more than you're gonna lose that one person.
right.
So
And I literally put comments on Democrat and Republicans posts that are a little wild, because I know someone's gonna get upset, but there's gonna be other persons who are like, oh man, she's right about this, right? There's an election coming up next week for state senate, District 22. There's no Libertarian, but in my eyes, we got a Libertarian senator. But it's Molly Ooten and Jake Merrick, and Jake had a comment on his page, and it was, kind of like what is your moral compass? And I was like, well, in my personal life, it's God, but with the state, it's the Constitution. And so he asked me a follow-up question. I can't remember what it was, but this lady came up and she's like, well, it doesn't say separation of state, church and state in the Constitution. And I'm like, I know that. This is where logic comes in. And I say, just because I was raised and I believe in certain things doesn't mean that everyone else is going to believe that, right? And I'm okay with that. I'm not going to push my views on you, right? I'm going to teach you how to read the Constitution. And so Republicans think, oh, well, if it's not in the Constitution, or it's not in the Constitution, it's not real. No. They did it. The founding fathers said it and wanted it because of what they just came from, right? They didn't want that government control, and that includes religion. Okay? Read a history book. Okay? I am a history buff. I went to college in 2003 for history. I still read history books. I still take history classes. I love history, okay? Listen to me, please. It's not, I don't say things to get in arguments. I say things to plant seeds. And it's funny because what you're saying is that, the person that comes along and likes it, right? And then they add you as a friend, right? And then you have all these liberty-minded people, and you're like, finally, my Facebook is all of these liberty-minded people. And I get all these friend requests all the time, and I check, and if my mutual friends are like my libertarian friends, accept right away. Boom, done. Because I know they're going to have good memes, right? And they're going to have good content. I don't need to be friends with anyone else I don't know, right? Because I'm like, well, they're fighting on their page about, trying to prove left and right. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. So it's just frustrating. And I think the Libertarian Party nationally in each state has to really step it up. Like, we can't wait till 2024, guys. We have to step it up now.
I'll add to that, as well as just making your voice heard out there, especially if you're on Facebook or whatever social media you use. Get your local news stations. Like here in Oklahoma, I have 4, 5, and 9, and 8 out of Tulsa on there. And and I know you do the same, but I'm saying for everybody else out there that's watching this, because the libertarian voice is usually pretty quiet when it comes to that kind of stuff, but that is exactly where you're able to go in, because especially here in Oklahoma, we've had a lot of marijuana topics come up recently due to the changes that they're trying to make. And so when those posts comes up, then that's your chance to get in there. I also have C-SPAN, and C-SPAN has actually been doing a lot of questions, like where they're asking people out there. And one was with they're trying to raise taxes to generate money for the infrastructure here in America. And so they were asking, and that's a perfect one for libertarians to get in on that post, because otherwise you just got Democrats and Republicans in there fighting each other. And then when you're the libertarian that steps in, it's like, hey, taxation is theft, guys. Like,
Right.
if you were being forced to pay taxes under punishment, you're not free, and that's what I had. I'm assuming it's funny is after arguing for so much, you can kind of get a feel for which side they're coming from.
Right.
So if I say taxation and stuff, and they're like, hey, that's the price you pay to live in a civilized life. Uh, Normally it's from coming from the left there. Um, and that's what I got told. They were like, hey, your freedom isn't free, and this is what you have to pay. And I was like, hey, you're not free if at any moment, like for me, I have my land paid off, but I still have to pay a property tax to the government. And it's like, this is my property. Why am I paying the government to live? It's like I'm paying them rent. You're not free at that point. There is at no point that I could ever just be like, you know what, I don't feel like being a wage slave for the rest of my life. I know how to live off the land here, but I can't do that because I am forced to still pay the tax on my land. I am forced to go out and work and generate a revenue out there so that it can go to the government.
Yep. They need to have some kind of control, and that's the thing is we don't want that. Who wants more government control? And then it's so funny because one week they'll be like, oh, they'll be mad about this, and then they'll be mad about that, and I'm like, wait, you're being hypocritical, right? No, just say no to the state. We don't need the state. We need communities. We need, you know, people who have a lot of the same values and the same morals to get together, right? The veterans, the libertarians, the cannabis community, moms, right? I met a mom yesterday at the park, and I don't moms. Moms are hard. Moms are hard. But I met this mom yesterday, and I could see how tired she was, and just frustrated. And we talked about our sons, and I said, well, next Thursday, same time. And to see the smile on her face, she was like, yes, I'll be here. That works great. Just made my day because, I don't know if she doesn't have friends. I don't know, but I know our boys enjoyed each other, and I know that she enjoyed those adult conversations and just to be normal, right? And if we did more of that and less of, you should take the vaccine because I did, right? No, you want to take the vaccine? Cool. I'm not going to. I am going to sit this one out until every single high-risk patient, rich, poor, has that vaccine. All those grandmas and grandmas I was told I was going to kill. I want them all to be vaccinated before I get mine. That's how I'm playing this one. I'm going to play your game. All the grandmas, the grandpas that I was going to kill just because I didn't wear a mask, which never happened. I want them to get vaccinated, right? And then I will get vaccinated because that's not going to ever happen, right? I mean, but now I saw like some of them are offering it to like children 16 and up. They're offering it free. So if you're wondering why the government would offer something free, I need you to do some research on the Tuskegee experiment, okay? I want you to look into that experiment and come back and say, oh, wow, I think the libertarians might have a reason for why they're questioning the government, okay?
Yeah, mine's more, I see it more as a money game, especially with you got major companies out there. I hate saying the term big pharma because people will automatically say, "Oh, you're just a conspiracist."
Right.
But no, I mean like because
Johnson and Johnson.
Yeah, oh man, don't even get me started on Johnson and Johnson. Johnson and Johnson creates baby products, but they're constantly in a legal battle.
Generations of women to feed them formula instead of their breasts, which is why they're here, okay? Yet I'm the crazy one. No. The people who believe what's on the TV, you are listening to these people instead of listening to your body, right? Going to the gym, taking care of yourself, eating healthy, right? And yeah, all these people have these problems, and yeah, they made medicine for them and stuff because they caused the problems in the Biden in the air. Like it's
Yeah, exactly.
it's the big
It's,
guys. It's the elite. It's the elite. It's Biden's team, right? It's all these people around him. If they're pro Biden, they are not pro small government. They're not pro small business. They're not pro, that single mom with 3 kids. That's me, right? They're not pro me. How are they helping me out? They're not. My friend shared an article, and she quit her job and stayed home and did virtual school, and she's a teacher, and she had to quit her job, had to be a mom, but a teacher mom, with her stepson who's disabled and has special needs. And that's awesome to me, right? That is great to me. But people don't want to hear that, right? I think I got 1 like when I shared that article, but it was so powerful, right? But they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear about Karen who didn't wear her mask at Target. They don't want to hear about Danielle who quit her job and said, I'm going to step up and be the teacher to my kids because the state has failed me, right? And so it's just frustrating because the word and the messages, the positivity and the liberty and the freedom that we're trying to get out, we are so censored, right? That debate stage did not have our candidate on it, even though she was the best candidate. Because we're
and
libertarians. Because
that's all I wanted.
Because he knew the only chance he would have to be is a Republican. Not saying he's a libertarian, but he even knew that, hey, I'm going to run the Republican ticket because I can't run on the Libertarian ticket, even though my name is a household name, even though I have all this money. That's how rigged it is because of ballot access, right? They had Texas Republicans and Democrats trying to get libertarians off the ballot.
Yeah, and successfully the Green Party.
So we're talking, and that's the thing is we're libertarians are talking, and we're finding out, oh, your state does that to you too. Cool. We're gonna figure out how to figure that out.
Yeah, and they were able to successfully I want to believe it, or I think it was the Republicans were trying to get the Libertarians off the ticket. Democrats were trying to get the Green Party off the ticket.
Yeah.
But Libertarians were able to fight it though, and the Green Party unfortunately was able to get removed, which is ridiculous. Like
the Green Party had a black woman as their VP too, but nobody.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, hey, well, all right, you want to vote for Harris? Well, what about her? Well, I haven't heard about her. I don't know who she is. I'm like, do your research.
Right. No, that's what I'm saying. A lot of Democrats would probably fall underneath the Green Party.
Yes.
Green Party actually is on the libertarian side of the spectrum as far as personal rights, but they still like taxes though. So and so to me, it's like you're still giving the government more power.
Right. Here's the thing though, is if we made the federal government tax go away and the states had it, those conversations would be at the county level, at the city level, at the state level, to people you could go visit and see, right? We can't go to the DC and be like, hey, I don't agree with this, but we can go to the Capitol. We can go to go to the courthouse. We can go to those city council meetings and those precincts meetings and all of those places and say, hey, I don't agree with this. And he doesn't agree with this, right? So, and that's what libertarians are good at. Did you see that meme where it was like, what libertarians want? And then it was like, what libertarians really do? And it's like all these old dudes like, why can't I paint my shed?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's how stupid it is, but we're out there. We just need to continue to be out there. So
yeah, exactly. Here in Kingfisher County, you have to have a permit if you're going to build a shed.
Yeah, they just want
It's like it's my property. Why do I have to pay you to be able to do something on my land that I own?
Yeah, because the government wants to be for profit because they don't care.
Yeah,
So.
drives me nuts. So is there anything else on your list that you have there that you need to bring up?
No, I hit up all my things, and it was great. Like, this was great. I know I vented, like,
Oh no, that's the whole point of
but
this. Uh,
I'm just frustrated. And if you want to have conversations with me, reach out to me.
Hold on,
Follow
my
me on.
alarm's going off. I may have messed up my video. Yeah, so if you don't mind, just let us know what you have going on. Even if you're not directly a part of it, but I know you have Tokelahoma, as well as any Facebook pages that veterans can reach out to you. Just go
Yes.
ahead and let the people know what you got going on.
Yes, for sure. Yes, I will drop all. I have a bunch of stuff that I'm going to drop in here that I talked about. So.
All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for stopping by and letting everybody know what you have going on.
Yes.
You have a good day.
You too.